We're at one of our meetings here in the Next Step program, and you can see the group behind us is busy in their learning activities. I think the main thing that the people learn in the Next Step program is to develop a habit of savings on a regular basis. The second thing that people learn is to be smart with their money choices, and of course the third thing is to achieve some life goals through the savings that they do over the year.
Before I came in and got part of the More Than a Roof Society, I was in active drug addiction, and I didn't know that I was capable of saving money because I spent every penny I had when I was in my addiction. So now this has also given me the opportunity to realize that I have the ability to start saving money again. You know, and I have 2 kids and I'm a grandmother, so it's just an awesome opportunity for me to carry on to the next step of my recovery and my life.
After being in and out of addiction for 30 years, one of my life goals was to go back to school. I wanted to help others. And with the Next Step Savings Program, I was able to do that. It allowed me to pay for some of my schooling.
My life is nothing like it was for many years. I quit drinking, I quit my drug use, I quit smoking cigarettes. I got out of the sex trade once and for all. I have myself meaningful employment. In fact, I work in the recovery field. I went back to school again, and I'm still in school. I go to school part-time. I volunteer. My sons are an active part of my life now. In fact, I'm a great support for them. My oldest son has his struggles right now, and he's told me that I'm a great inspiration for him. In his own words, really, it was that if you can turn it around, anyone can turn it around. We have a little bulletin board here in the elevator, which is awesome because it keeps me up to date on what's going on. And it was advertising for the Next Step program, a savings program. I thought, I wonder what that's all about. There was periods throughout my life I had learned to save a little bit, but that was when I was clean and sober. It's pretty hard to have any type of savings program when you're in active addiction. In fact, at the best of times, I never had a bank account because I never had any ID. The Next Step Savings Program said that if you could save between $10 and $50 a month for the course of the year, that More Than a Roof Housing Society would match me dollar for dollar up to $600. And I thought, wow, get paid to save money. To me, it was a no-brainer, right? And because I quit smoking cigarettes, it wasn't any problem to put money away each month in the bank. And yeah, so I collected my $600 at the end of the year, and I went back to school part-time. So I used it, I take one course at a time, and I pay cash as I go. So I used it to pay for a new course, which I think was $576. So yeah, it was awesome. Because I'm in the recovery field now, and I speak with other women that are coming into More Than a Roof Housing Society, whether it be Kindred Place or our new building, Caris Place, I tell them all about the Next Step Savings Program. The resources that are available to people that are less fortunate are amazing once you start reaching out to find them.
After I was diagnosed with mental illness, I was put on a fixed income of disability, and I thought my dream of being able to go to India would never come true. It basically just gives you enough money to live off of. When I heard about the Next Step program, I realized that I could learn how to save money to achieve my goal to go to India. The first month, I put it in, and then I wasn't very careful with my money, and I came close to almost having to take it back. But what happened is I squeaked through. It seemed as it went on, month after month, it got easier and easier because I'd finally got into a groove, and for my first time in my life, I learned to budget my money properly. The day I was going to go to India was just amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was in awe. I was like, wow, I'm really doing this. I got to the airport 3 hours early. I just wanted to make sure I was there. It was such a massive goal to accomplish, to To work on something for 5 years is a long time to set your mind to something. And I didn't have any plans when I got there. I knew for sure when I was there, I was gonna see the Taj Mahal for sure. And also I was gonna go to Kashmir. The next day I catch a flight to Srinagar. And when I get there, nobody's there to meet me. But that's okay, because I meet this one guy who works for his uncle who has a houseboat. So I start talking to him, he says, yeah, I'll show you everything. So they take me to the houseboat and it's beautiful. There's like 1,000 houseboats on this lake. And the only way to get to them is by Shakira. It's a little boat that there's one guy in the back paddling and you just sit up front and it's really comfortable and everything. They immediately took me out they took me out around the lake to show me everything. I said I wanted to go on a trek up the Himalayas. So I said I needed a horse. They said, no problem, we can get you a horse. So I booked a tour to go for 3 nights and 4 days on a trek tour up into the mountains. And I also booked a tour for a river tour. It changed me, just changed the way I looked at, when I came back, just changed the way I looked at things. It just changed the way I looked at people. It changed the way I thought about rich and poor. And yeah, you know, it opened my eyes wide, really. We have things so good here. But I just couldn't imagine what would have happened to me if I lived in India and if I got sick. If you go to every session and pay attention and do what they want you to do what they tell you to do in the first few sessions and continue on doing it, you'll succeed. For sure, you'll succeed. If I can do it, anybody can do it. The Next Step program really, really works.
I was in the process of wrecking my life with OxyContin. So when I saw him, it was kind of it wasn't as good as it could have been, and I think I was a huge disappointment. I wanted them to be proud of me, and part of that was buying my own ticket. Like the time I had been out to Roberts before, he'd bought the ticket. And I was, you know, a grown-up adult person, but I couldn't even afford plane fare to go see my family. So I went out as a grown-up. Family reunions are a huge deal. My brothers and I, growing up, we had quite a bit of adversity in our childhood, and we're really, really close. They're my best friends in life. We miss each other a lot when we're apart. Next Step actually made it possible for me to make 2 trips across Canada, one to Thunder Bay and the other to the East Coast, where my other brother is. Last year, he went into a crisis and called me and asked me to come. He said, please come. I knew what it took to begin to recover. So I had the incredible honor of going out to Amherst and taking my brother to his very first AA meeting. If it hadn't been for the Next Step program, I wouldn't have been able to go across the country to the East Coast to help my brother when he reached out for me. The Next Step program taught me skills, but it also brought me to a place of discipline, which is, I think, as much as the skills is what I needed to have things manageable for me as far as money goes. And I found that I have more money than I actually knew. And I discovered the ways that I was throwing money out the door and stopped that, and I began to save. And after the trip to Ontario, I started working on rehabilitating my finances. The Next Step program helped me to reconnect with my family across Canada.
The amazing thing is I'm still saving money. It's awesome, it's a pretty good feeling.
I'm saving money again. I'd like to go to Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia.
The Next Step program was instrumental in helping me manage my finances.